Today we are doing another book tag video. These are actually our favorite to film because we can just sit here and chat. You guys know we're all about the unpopular opinions. So today we're going to be doing the unpopular opinion book tag. We will link the original creator of this tag in the description, so if you want to check out their video, you can go ahead and do that.
I feel like if y'all have been here for long enough, you already know my answers.
Yeah, I agree. There's a few things I know we've talked about before, so those will be no surprise. But the rest of the questions I thought were really interesting.
I think there are 9 questions, and we haven't talked about our answers with each other, so I'm pretty interested to see what you said.
Or if we're going to have the same answers to any of them.
Okay, so question number 1 is, what is a popular book or series that you didn't like?
I feel like there's a couple, but one that was a big shock for me this year was Normal People by Sally Rooney. I think I gave it 2 stars, and that was me being generous. I hate to say that too because I know it's a lot of people's favorite book, but I just feel like her writing was not for me. I think I'm very much a plot person. I love a good plot and storyline, and since that was less of a plot and more just following the journey between 2 people, I just couldn't connect. I couldn't get into it. I know a lot of people think it's very relatable, and obviously if it speaks to you, you're gonna love it. It didn't speak to me. I didn't love it. I
just finished The Queen of Nothing this month. I think it's fair for me to say that I didn't really enjoy the Folk of the Air series. I feel like I went into it with such high expectations, and I really thought it was going to be way more romance than it had. I mean, I've said it multiple times, so that was my second fantasy that I've ever read, so I was pretty much comparing the whole thing to ACOTAR. I just felt like the Folk of the Air series didn't live up to it, which sucks because we did go to Holly Black's book signing before we even read any of her books, so us doing that, I was so sure we were going to love it because we loved her, but I didn't really enjoy it, but that's okay.
Yeah, that's fine.
I am happy that I did read that one though, since people are always talking about it, and now I know my place with it, and it was a miss for me.
Question number 2 is a popular book or series that everyone else seems to hate but you love. So the opposite of question 1.
For me, I said the ACOTAR series because that's very hit or miss. You either loved it or you hated it. And the Ravenhood trilogy.
Which was the same thing.
Yeah.
I wrote the exact same thing plus one additional one that we both loved. Okay. So at first I put We Were Liars. I know this is an unpopular opinion. Everyone who read it because of book talk hated it.
Yeah.
I think though, since we read it very early on in our reading journey, it got me into reading.
No, yeah. I thought the plot twist in the end was great. I really don't understand why people have such a problem with it.
Everyone says the writing, but that was done specifically so the reader doesn't know what's happening either.
No, yeah.
That book was brilliant. I'll die on this hill, but I put We Were Liars. I of course put ACOTAR and the Ravenhood trilogy. So nothing new. You guys do those, we're gonna be our answers.
Question number 3 is, what is a love triangle where the main character ended up with a person you did not want them to end up with?
This was a hard question for me to answer because I have not read a lot of books with a love triangle. I think the only 2 I've read is The Summer I Turned Pretty and ACOTAR, if that. And both of those books I liked who the main character ended up with. So for this question, I do remember I changed it a little bit since I didn't have anything to say.
Are you about to say the same answer as me?
Did you change the question
I changed the question.
I changed the question to, what's a book where the main character ended up with someone I didn't want them to end up
Okay, ready?
Okay.
On 3.
1, 2, 3.
November 9! I knew it!
Oh my
I changed the question
God.
too because I was all the books that I've read so far, I like who they end up with in a love triangle. But November 9, who she ended up with in the end, yeah, we were not happy about that.
And you guys know, we've gone on about this before in previous videos, that we just do not think the ending of November 9 was it. I still stand by that answer to this day. I can't believe the book ended like that. I'll never get over it.
Yeah.
I don't know how people praise him.
I know.
I'm not even gonna get into it. Number 4 is a popular book genre that you hardly reach for.
I would say science fiction, but I really do still want to read, what's that one? With the guy going to the planet on the moon.
I don't know, but
we have it!
Oh!
Project X?
Project Hail Mary. Project X. I'm like Miles Tower.
Project X? No, Project Hail Mary. that I really want to read, and everybody has always told us to read it, but
Yeah.
we just don't. We don't reach for it. What about you?
I'm thinking of changing my answer now.
You're the same answer?
No, I was originally going to say, like, something I don't grab for. I have a lot of mystery thrillers. I never read them, just because they never impress me. That was initially my answer. However, after hearing yours, I don't read historical fiction, ever. It's just not my cup of tea. I don't know why. So that could be my answer as well. However, I'm open to reading a good one.
The Book Thief.
The Book Thief.
We gotta read that.
Yeah.
Number 5 is, who is a popular or beloved character that you did not like?
When I get on Bookstagram or something like that, and strictly speaking about the books that I constantly see on there, I always see From Blood and Ash. And I know when you branch out into the book community, it's not really liked for good reason, but I see it a lot on Bookstagram. I'm gonna say it's popular, so my answer would be honestly any of the characters. I don't love Castile, who is like the main love interest. After that first book, he was just ruined in my mind. Like, I just can't get past it. I think that's why I haven't continued with the series. However, the fan art is still immaculate, so I just didn't really know who to put.
For me, it's going to be Alex from People We Meet on Vacation. I don't remember his last name because I don't like him. I feel like he really ruined that whole book for me, just because it was, what, 10 years of friendship? You haven't texted her like, hey, I'm into you. You haven't, like, said it to her face.
Like, he needs to take that initiative.
Yeah, take the initiative. That whole book really just made me mad at him.
Okay, number 6 is a popular author that you can't seem to get into.
Oh, perfect. Speaking of that, after I read People We Meet on Vacation, a few months ago, I read Beach Read. I was like, I'm going to give Emily Henry another chance. And it wasn't clicking for me. She's just not for me, and that is okay. I know a lot of people love her. Something I noticed that she does, just based off the 2 books that I've read, she goes off onto really heavy subplots. I was into Beach Read in the beginning and towards the middle, but then we start going into freaking cult leaders, and it's like she wants to branch out into a different genre, but she just doesn't. I'd also say Holly Black. Ooh.
For me, it doesn't feel fair to say Leigh Bardugo because I've technically only read one of her books and I DNF'd it, but it was Ninth House. I wanted to love it so much, and it was one of the biggest disappointments. It was way too overly descriptive. I was lost about what the plot was supposed to be. The one character I liked wasn't even part of the story, like just in flashbacks. I don't know. There was so much about it. I just did not like it. But I know she's so popular in the fantasy community, so I'm hoping it was just that book. I do want to give her another shot with Six of Crows. As far as like Shadow and Bone, like that doesn't seem interesting to me. Just every time I see anything by her, I'm kind of just like skeptical about it. But I think just Ninth House ruined it for me. I'm gonna try again with Six of Crows, but that's who I put for that answer because I could not get into Ninth House.
Question number 7 is, what is a popular book trope that you are tired of seeing?
Enemies to lovers if it's not enemies to lovers. I'm sick of the we had a miscommunication in grade school and we haven't talked in 3 years, but we've secretly liked each other or had a thing for each other. No, I want like I hate you to the bone enemies. I can't even stand to be in the same room as you. Like that type of energy to lovers. I need that. I hate seeing enemies to lovers when it's not actually enemies to lovers. I need good recommendations. I don't know if one of them exists. When people ask me what's a good enemies to lovers, I have nothing to say. I'm sick of the fake enemies to lovers.
For me, it's Second Chance Romance. I have not read a good Second Chance Romance yet. I just feel like every time I read that trope, everything could be solved with a simple conversation. I don't want to read a 400-page book about miscommunication, really. About them not sitting down and having a conversation and sorting their business out until the very last page.
We're changing our answer. We're sick of miscommunication.
Yeah, there we go.
That trope, disgusting.
Yeah.
Sick of it. Miscommunication sucks. Fake enemies to lovers, no thank you. Second Chance Romance, do better. Question number 8 is, what is a series you have no interest in reading?
I think for me, it's going to be the Shatter Me series. I don't really see too many people liking it. There are so many books in that series, and I really just don't think I'd get around to them. But it also says it is a science fiction story and a dystopian. I don't know. It's not ringing my bells.
It's not ringing your bell?
It's not ringing my bells. So
I put the selection series. No part of me wants to read that series. I know you have the first few. A lot of people say it's like The Bachelor. I don't like The Bachelor. I don't want to read it. I think it's a cool concept, especially to have in a book, a popular book series, but even the covers and everything, like I don't want to read it.
The covers don't do it for me either, but then once whoever said it was like The Bachelor, I was sold.
Yeah, so there you go.
The saying goes, the book is always better than the movie, but what movie or TV show adaptation do you prefer more than the book?
Mine, you guys have heard me talk about it this year, and it was The Perks of Being a Wallflower, which is so disappointing. Because the whole reason I read that book in the first place was because the movie has meant so much to me, especially growing up. It's always been one of my favorite movies. It's so well done. And I just have really high hopes, knowing the books are most of the time better. Because I was comparing it to the movie so much, the book just fell flat. I didn't like the delivery. I thought the concept was cool of reading the story through Charlie's letters. I was so one-sided. We didn't get to see a lot of the other characters or a lot of what else was happening. I also think if I had read that book before the movie when I was younger, I would have really liked it, but the movie's better in my opinion.
I don't have an answer for this one just because that hasn't happened to me yet. Every book that I've read and then watched the adaptation of it, the book has always been better. But with that being said, a lot of the books we just read are getting adaptations though, so that could change. The Seven Husbands of Evelyn Hugo and Daisy Jones and the Six are about to come out, so I'm really excited to see how they're going to do that because those are two amazing books and I hope they really do it justice. And it ends with us. I'm really excited about that one too.
I'm not excited about it.
Oh.
Because I'm so worried they're gonna mess it up.
But yeah, there's so many different adaptations coming out within the next year, so that could change. That was all the questions. We love doing these little tags. I wish there were more, but
there's a couple, but I just don't know what people want to see.
Yeah.
Because a lot of them came out like years ago and we're barely getting around to them.
I wish there were just new questions.
Yeah. We can make our own.
Yeah?
That would be a mess.
Okay.
Really interesting questions though. Let us know what your answers are to all of these. We're
All
always
of them.
interested. All of them.
There's
All
like
9.
10.
All 9 questions. Put them in the comments. That is going to end today's video. Thank you guys for watching. As always, make sure to like and subscribe and all that good stuff. All of our social media links are in the description and we will see you guys next time.
For me, it's second chance romance. No one deserves a second chance. No, I'm just kidding. I'm just kidding. Like every book we've read is getting an adaptation, which is fine.
Oh, okay.
That made me so mad too because like I had seen on TikTok girls would be like, my top 5 book boyfriends, and he comes out on number 1, and I'm just so confused on why. That
Seek help.
Jail
Seek
time.
help. Oh my gosh, that's crazy. That's a discussion with the therapist.